Welcome to the Green Wasp Removal YouTube channel. In this episode, we continue training and mentoring the Manchester University Wasp Team as we take on another eastern yellowjacket ground nest. This is a beneficial native species here in the Midwest of the USA and North America. However, they are also one of the most dangerous species we deal with because they are very aggressive and very defensive of their nest, and they often attack people who stumble across their nest while playing on the lawn or mowing the lawn or simply walking in an area where they did not see these nests. Because so many people get stung by this species during these surprise attacks, it's a species that's important for venom immunotherapy. And what that means is allergy shots are created by the biomedical industry in special labs that do that work. And what we do is we collect these wasps in our vacuum extraction devices like you see here, and then we flash freeze them to preserve their venom, and we send them to these labs that create allergy shots for patients who have severe or lethal venom allergies. So we're going to show you how we collect the adult flying wasps first as phase 1, then we're going to show you how we dig out the brood comb as you see here as phase 2. The brood comb is very important. That's where the eggs, larvae, and pupae are developing into adult wasps. It's underground. There's several layers of brood comb, and we need to remove that so that we can get that nest secured and bring it back to our vespiary, and there we can incubate the nest until the pupae hatch out as adult wasps, and they can be collected for venom immunotherapy as well. Then, as you see here, we have to secure the queen from that nest so that we can make sure she doesn't try to rebuild at that same location, and that when we bring her back to the vespiary, she can continue developing her nest, and we can make sure it's a healthy, productive nest during the incubation process in the vespiary. Once we have the adult wasps contained like you see here, and we have the brood comb contained as you see here, and we have the queen contained as well, then we know this nest will no longer bother the client that we were helping. The last step in this process is spraying down the hole where the nest used to be with a non-toxic mix of soap and water and essential oils. We never use any type of pesticide or poisons because they're simply not necessary. You can control every species of wasp on Earth without poison 100% of the time using simply soap and water and essential oils. That's something we want to make very clear to our viewers. You don't have to take our word for it. Try it. Make a mix of dish soap and water, put in peppermint oil, clove oil, and lemongrass oil, and use that, and watch what happens. For now, let's take you back to September 2nd and September 4th of 2025, and we'll show you the entire job. As always, thanks for riding along with us. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment to let us know you're there. Enjoy the show. All right, it's September 2nd, 2025. I'm here with Manchester University Wasp Team member Katie, and we are about to do another eastern yellowjacket nest right here. This one's getting very active. You see it has a good size hole and a lot of activity coming and going. So what we're going to do is separate ourselves from that nest by a couple of hose lengths and an extendable pole. And that will keep them focused on the collection device instead of focused on us during collection. So let's check pressure first. How's that feel? That's pretty good. Try that. I'll get the staple too, you can hold it down if you need to. So we're checking to make sure that when they get taken into the container, they don't get knocked around too much. They do get taken in by the suction, but they don't get knocked around. That's how we get the ideal pressure. We might be able to turn it up a little bit. I think that's a little better. That looks better to me. Starting to pull more in. This will be a good sized nest with a lot of population. As you watch this footage, an interesting note to see is that the cooperative effort between wasps is pretty incredible. They have that hive mind mentality where they all work together for the benefit of the hive by instinct. So what you see happening here is a few blades of grass or plant debris have fallen down into the entrance of the hole. So what you see is they immediately come out and they work together to attempt to move and cut away these pieces of plant material that are now blocking their way in and out of the nest. So they're fully aware when something needs to be expanded at the hole or removed from the hole, they come out and take care of it. During phase 1 collection of the adult wasps, we'll stimulate an attack response, as you're going to see here, by making noise and vibration outside the nest. This causes a lot of the wasps that remain underground to come out and attack, and that allows us to collect them with the vacuum device.
There you go. Good collection coming in rapidly today. It's a large population on this nest. A lot underground still and a lot out and about in the environment. Right, so Katie just disconnected this bottle because there's so many in there, we're starting to lose suction. Good job, that's a good collection for Venom Immunotherapy today. Due to the fact that there's some utility work happening here today, we're gonna do this dig another day. So we'll come back. All right, September 4th, 2025, and we're back at this ground nest today. Katie's about ready to start digging out this brood comb. She's looking for cavities underground by tapping to see which direction it might go. All right, let's see what we find. Tough turf.
So as we move this into fast forward, we're just going to explain what the process is we typically use here. Normally the wasps are coming in and out of a single entrance underground. Oftentimes this is a root cavity or a abandoned rodent tunnel and an abandoned rodent den that they have expanded out to build their nest in. So one of the simple techniques we use is we simply follow the tunnel that leads to the surface, and that will lead you directly to the brood comb the vast majority of the time. Sometimes you lose the tunnel during the dig and you have to dig around and search for it kind of blindly. But usually, just by feeling around in the soft earth with your fingers, you can find the route of the tunnel and follow that route right to the brood comb. And that's what we're doing here. In this case, it was a relatively long tunnel. It took a while for us to dig through the tunnel space to the brood comb. Okay, so let's just refill here before we move on.
Yeah, there it is.
I'm going to pull the turf out. Let's let it sit for a minute. So here we've located the nest to the left of the dig hole, and now we're just refilling the area of the dig hole that we don't need because the nest is not down there. And we're going to focus now on the left side. Okay, so they were walking quite a ways to their tunnel.
Yeah.
All right, so we found the nest. It's a little further away than we had originally thought, which is not uncommon. Here's the cavity. Let's let him collect for a few.
Got a stake?
Yeah, I'm going to tape it up a little more. So once we locate a nest underground like this, you see there's a cavity underground. And in that main cavity, that's where the brood comb is being expanded by the nest, and that's where a lot of wasps still remain. So as we go through the dig, we pause occasionally when we hit the cavity, and we just let the vacuum extraction device collect all of the wasps that are flying out to attack. And that keeps us safer, it keeps the swarm down for any passers-by, and it just makes the collection more efficient. Here's the classic response for Vespula maculifrons. So as you see here, they come out to attack the suit. They'll be all over our gloves, all over the veil, and if they sting the leather gloves, they actually get stuck in the glove and they'll disembowel themselves and pull out their venom sac and die while they try to escape from a leather glove. That's just a waste of venom. So as we speed up the footage here a little bit, we're just going to show you the collection process that we do. And we just back off during this period and allow the wasps to attack the collection device. That way they don't get injured, they just get collected. And we can use every single wasp we collect for venom immunotherapy, and none of them die because they're stinging our gloves or our suits or whatever. And of course it's simply much quicker to collect this way rather than trying to wait for a giant swarm that's flying around us. So as we go back to normal speed here, you'll see that the swarm eventually is collected. It just calms down because most of what came out to attack has been collected. And once that happens, we continue the dig. And if it gets crazy again with a lot of swarming, we'll just pause again, collect some more, and then go back to the dig. It's a process. There we go. Good sized cavity. All right, let's try not to bust it up. Okay.
It feels like hard now.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get a nice space around it so we can lift it out in one piece.
Feels like that is the contours.
Okay.
goes all the way over here.
Okay, you ready?
Looks like it goes
Might be further that way.
not much, but I think I'm around it now. Okay, you want it out?
Shake it off a little bit first. There you go. All right, look for that queen.
Nope, no more. I don't see any more top. And I don't see any queens. Look here.
Where's this shit? You got it. There's our queen,
Yeah.
right there. That's what we like to see. Put her right in the queen cage. Yeah. There's our girl. What we're looking for. Queen in the cage. Now that we have the queen, we can relax and just clean up. There's a nest, multi-layer, lots of pupae that we can incubate back at the barn lab, the Venom Immunotherapy. All these are big reproductive queen cells, so we interrupted this at a good time. All right, good job. As always, well done. Now we're going to spray some of this non-toxic essential oil mix with soap and water in it into the pit, and this will kill what's left in there and block their pheromone, and it will really deter anything else from trying to live there. So we spray it down in layers. Katie's right now killing all of what's left in there. It's a fast death. They suffocate because we clog their pores, their breathing pores in their body with this oil. Then we just bury them in there. And as we refill the hole, we layer it in with oil. Hit in the back, will you? There you go. Good. And we keep layering it in. Here's our nest. Good. Top it off and then we're good. All right, so here's our Vespula maculifrons. It's eastern yellowjackets. Just dug up out of the ground from this nest. It's a good sized nest. We contained the queen. She's in her cage here. You can see her. So we're in good shape for this one to be relocated and incubated. There's a lot of new queens being born here. You can see the large cells compared to the small worker ones at the bottom. These newer ones are going to be queens and males mostly, but hopefully queens will come out because they have venom sacs. So we'll go ahead and collect those when they do.